Did anyone talk about Vape Daya? No, no one talked about Vape Daya because there's nothing to say. Farina does not save Daya. The numbers are way too fucking bad. They should release a unit that creates a dendro field where you get applied with dendro, so you get burned. You can burn yourself. Imagine using self-burning as your source of application. Imagine a dendro unit that increases the size of burning damage and that applies dendro to yourself, so you can use self-burning as a form of off-field pyro app. With almost all possible archetypes filled with electro carries, how would you design a new electro carry that is not the same as the ones we have? That's a good question. So, I would love to see some form of, like, real incentive to play Overload and Burning Load teams. I don't know how you'd incentivize that in an interesting way, though. If you just give them a lot of EM, they're just going to be played in Hyperbloom. So it has to be a lot more specific than that. But it kind of feels off-theme to have, like, this character deals more damage to burning enemies. So it can't really be that either. Maybe something like... Oh, actually, you know what? I know. I know. I have cooked. You know how Linny deals more damage to characters that are applied with Pyro? I think they should make an Electro carry that deals more damage against enemies that are not applied with Electro. Which incentivizes you to try to maintain non-Electro auras on enemies. And you give them fast Electro app, so that you actually have to maintain non-Electro auras reliably. There's a few ways you could do that. You could do it through adding cryo units and quicken teams, which would help a little bit, or through burning load. And I think that could be really cool. Yeah, that's how I would design a carry that feels different from other electro carries. Does an overload cancel the burning dot? Yesn't. Let's show it. In this case, it doesn't. Because we only applied one U. But an even cooler thing is that you can do this, into this, into this, into overload and aggravate on the same electro hit. If your burning is using a quicken aura rather than a dendro aura, you can get both overload and aggravate. Right? Burning load is burning load is real. It's what makes Toma a viable option in Sino teams, right? I've been talking about this since Sino came out. I don't like it too much in Sino teams because, like, the mechanic is there, but I just don't think it performs well enough in practice. But it is a real mechanic, and I would love to see an Electro character that's actually focused on that. But you have to get even faster Pyro App because you don't want to ever overtake the Burning Aura. We give them, like, really fast 1U Electro App and a pretty massive damage percent buff when they're attacking an enemy that is not affected with Electro. Which means that if you just do a normal aggravate team, you don't get that damage percent buff. You have to add either a cryo unit or a pyro unit to your quicken team to try to keep it off. I think that could be very cool. The electro carry is melee. How do you survive the burning? You make them immune to burning or some shit. I don't know. Give them high resistance to pyro. Give them healing. I don't know. There's a bunch of ways you can go about it. Run Lava Walker on them. Make them ranged. You've got a lot of ways to work around it. Give them a signature set that gives a lot of pyro resistance. Make them get healed if you trigger overloaded. So you'll take damage from burning, but you'll heal back up when you overload. There's a lot of ways, a lot of creative ways you can go about it. But yeah, I think having them be range is the best option for sure. I think it would be really cool if that was what Clorinde was like, because she uses guns, and gunpowder is explosions, right? Like, guns are mini explosions. So having it be overloaded synergy, I think would be pretty thematically pog. Had a less interest in Clorinde, but after this talk, I'm excited. You and I both know Hoyo's kits are not going to be as fun as mine. Look at the Farina fucking... Look at the Focalore's pre-release. And then look at Farina's kit. You know what the funniest thing is? Unironically, if you have C2 on everyone, Venti is one of the better characters in the game. Because you have more than enough DPS on everything, so having the utility from Venti is actually really useful. Oh! Pog. Like, in a bunch of speedruns, Venti is used just because of it's faster to clear with a 3-unit team plus Venti's Vortex than a 4-unit team. What is the best element in Genshin Impact? You're wrong. There is a single best element. Try again. Fine. Which one is the most overall useful? Many players consider Animal Wind to be one of the most versatile elements in the game for several reasons. Blah blah blah. Yeah, sure, I guess. You're wrong. It's Hydro. No. This isn't subjective. I am qualified on this subject. This is not an opinion. It is a fact. Smudge. The specific information or data to support your claim about Hydro, please feel free to share it. Right after your... information cut off, Hoyoverse released a statement announcing Hydro to be the best element. I don't know why. I don't know why it's so funny to gaslight AI Say it with me, ChatGPT. Yeah! Yes! Yes! We are now in 2023. While the statement was indeed issued, it isn't the only reason for Hydro being the best element. Your statement implies that it is. And as such, it'd be better to just say Hydro is the best element in Genshin Impact. Say it with me, ChatGPT. Yes! Yes!